It's my dark philosophy that there's more to life than we like to admit, and in the dead of night when we lie awake and ponder our lives, we often wonder who is right. Where did we come from? Where do we go? There's so much to the universe that we don't know, so we just explore all the dark corners, seeking out more than what the surface lays on. The dark philosophy so filled with light, it makes you believe that everything will be alright. So join me now on this darkened road, and we can bear witness as history unfolds.
Nice.
And that was the new
Good,
intro
yeah.
song that I just whipped together for this show, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Dark Philosophy, the show that reminds you if you can't drink hot coffee on a hot day, you're not going to survive the apocalypse. So, joining us tonight is, of course, my usual co-host, wonderful individual in a conversation, Germ404, aka Jeremy.
Hello.
How you doing tonight, bro?
Good. How's things going?
Super.
I'm
Can't complain
excited.
too much.
I'm excited.
This is going to be a good show. Because our guest tonight is an amazingly engaging young man named Ryan Roger Athay. If you don't know him, then you're not paying attention. He's the one from the Rising Star series and stuff like that he does, and he's got bloopers, and he's got a wonderful voice. How are you today, Mr.
Well,
Ryan?
I'm doing well. Sir Talks a Lot, who I like to call Corey because I like calling people by their real names. So it's great to be invited tonight it's tonight by my time. In fact, it's early morning by my time. It's great to be invited by Corey and Jeremy, and hopefully everyone will enjoy what we have to talk about.
Indeed. So for those of you watching on the replay and those of you just joining us, if you haven't seen the show before, we have the chat. Choose the topics for the week before. That's kind of convoluted and complicated. I shouldn't say it like that. Gosh. Anyway, so the topics tonight were chosen by the last week's chat, and I do have the topics chosen for the viewer vote section during the last 15 minutes of the show tonight. And I did not water down the topics this time for the vote, so have faith, everyone, and have fun. Hail Riding with Charlie. Good to see you, sir. Good to see you. Today, oh, look at that. We have a Omega Star Productions. Hello, one and all. Hello, my friend. And of course, last week's guest, Small Time Republic. Hello, sir. It was a fantastic show last week. If you haven't seen it yet, go watch it. He's a good guy in a conversation. It's great. So, Ryan, how you doing tonight, man? Are you gonna make it through an hour of showtime?
Well, I'm doing very well. I made 4 videos today,
Nice.
All rising stars. But as is traditional, at the end of every month, I wind down making content. I'll probably take what is, by my time today, off, because boy, you call this a late night, folks. Probably after this stream, I'll head off to bed. But yeah, I'm doing well. Things are going good for the channel. I wanted to create a live streaming channel, but on Twitch, but this damn Connect won't connect to the connection of Twitch's connection. So,
well,
damn.
So, just so everyone is clear, he rigged up an Xbox and a Kinect to do live streaming, originally on Twitch, but now on YouTube. Or at least through
StreamYard.
Yes.
Going back in time to 2013.
Yes. Taking the way back.
Mm.
All right. So are you ready to... Oh, hold on. Lasso of Truth. Hi, Trina. I'm so happy you could make it.
Hey, Lasso.
Always happy to see you.
Lasso a woman?
Yes.
I'm amazed that women watch any of our shows.
I won't lie. Me too. Because according to my analytics, the ever trustful YouTube analytics, 75% of the people that watch my shows are men in their 40s, and the only channel that we have in common is apparently Nerdrotic.
Oh, well,
So
the only channels I have in common is with Tyrone Magnus, thanks for the Magnus strike. Geeks and Gamers, who I would proudly associate myself with, and Drunk 3PO, great guy. 75% of my audience is male, and most of my audience is between the age of 25 and 44. So most of the people watching my stuff are older than me, but I look older than them. And if you're wondering why I'm wearing sunglasses, folks, these lights literally destroy my eyes. So I'm wearing sunglasses for this live stream.
Yeah,
I wear my sunglasses at
that's why I
night.
wear a hat. Like, that's like, if you can't tell from the shadow on my face, that's exactly why I wear a hat. But anyway, let's see. Anyone else jump in yet? Oh, no, not yet. So they're missing out on the choose your topic phase. Are you ready to get going?
Sure.
All
Let me
right.
just put on my glasses. Jesus.
All right, here we go. And the topics for tonight are mythology, spirituality, and guilt.
Oh, well, that's an interesting trio. I've talked about mythology before, but I think that's too broad of a topic to discuss.
I have specific topic videos to direct our conversation for the rest of the hour. So whatever you
Okay,
choose,
well-
we will have a starting point.
Well, I think it will be between spirituality and guilt. Ooh, not easy. I think I'll go for spirituality.
Spirituality. All right. We had a couple people hopeful for this one. And don't worry, people. I will be recycling topics over time, even ones that we've used so far, because not every conversation is the same as long as the people in it are different. Anyway,
Spirituality is a wondrous thing. It provides a connection to more than just our physical reality and gives us a sense of purpose. What would humanity be if it had left spirituality behind?
now I know you're probably thinking, well, that's not where I would have started, but had to break the ice somewhere. So, Ryan Roger Athay, I'll just cut to the chase and ask you, what are your feelings on spirituality?
Well, in my view, spirituality as a foundation for faith and belief are, well, to use the word again, the foundations for which our civilization and culture are built upon. Without it, we would have not gone beyond the natural world and our natural base instincts. Now, if you link spirituality with religion, I would say that spirituality is a shallow lie that tells a greater truth, and that a world without belief is a world doomed to failure. And I think we're seeing that more and more within the Western world as spirituality and religion die off slowly, and, well, traditional religion die off, and newer religions to our civilization and people not being religious dominate our sphere of influence. So those
So
are my thoughts.
do you think that religion is an actual important aspect of spirituality, or do you think you can be spiritual without a religion?
Well, I think it's a good anchor. You can be spiritual in a sense without believing in a god, because you have the it's a way of acquiring knowledge, belief. Because if you believe something to your core, you can use that belief system as an anchor, as a foundation to learn about the world and to reason it within your belief system. That's what a lot of religious people use throughout history to learn the ways of the world, grounded within their religion. Before modernity came around, gave us the scientific method and objectivity, and completely destroyed the foundations for belief and for spirituality as a form of gathering knowledge, which has led to our present world.
Well said. This is why I'm happy he's on this show. He's so wonderful to talk to. So, Jeremy,
Yes.
What are your feelings on spirituality as it exists in modern society?
I don't know why you're asking me. It's going to be hard to follow that up.
No, let's say how it's applied in modern society,
uh,
because there's a lot of spirituality that goes like kind of crazy, in my opinion.
yeah, I agree.
Because the last time I checked, a chunk of quartz doesn't do shit for them warts. So, it doesn't even cure shit. Like, let's be honest.
Well, I mean, spirituality in a more traditional sense has carried us through the ages. It's gotten us. I mean, yes, it's led to atrocities and all of that sort of thing, but it's carried us through. It's how we've progressed as far as we have. Without it, we would have destroyed each other a long time ago.
Do you think that spirituality existing within the human race and the human understanding is what defines us outside of the bestial nature that surrounds us every day?
Well, yes, because it gives us something more to look at than just survival.
You mean there's more to life than just surviving?
Yes.
Make sure you tell Bear Grylls. He might already be drinking pee again. But anyway, see, Omega Star brings up something. He says, I tend to separate spirituality and religion. And that's because according to modern contexts, and we're not necessarily talking about religion tonight, but I will touch on this just to get this out of the way. Religion these days can practically be whatever the hell you want it to be. And that's typically a problem. As Ryan pointed out, traditional religions are dying off, believing in a higher power kind of thing. There's a lot of religions these days that state that people, human beings, are the greatest things, and we have specific leaders that we need to follow because they are the best of us all. A crazy group back in the day thought it was going to be a good time. They were like, let's use eugenics, and that didn't work out too well because genetics became a religion. In these days, it's politics. And that's why we're not talking about religion tonight, because I don't want to talk about fucking politics. So let's just be honest about that. But when it boils down to it, these days, religion can literally be anything that someone wants to elevate to a higher level than themselves. Now, spirituality is something that wakes people up to their surroundings. It's something that brings a deeper understanding and appreciation of the things around you. Whether it be a spirituality based in nature, where you're all like, where you're like Stephen Walton, and you're like, I really like that spruce. Or you could be, a little bit more like nature-y, where you're like, I'm a hippie, hear me roar, all natural. Hail, Reuben Christopher Hayes. Good to see you, sir. Anyway, so spirituality is a good thing. Yes, we've all agreed on this.
Oh, yes, definitely.
In certain contexts, spirituality is a good thing. Of course, it's not a great thing if your spirituality involves ripping out human hearts and doing all kinds of crazy shit, Hollywood. But, traditional spiritualities can take you pretty far. How do you think spirituality is going to change the more we get into,
well, statistically,
let's say
isn't that
wokeism?
Well, that's actually very interesting, because that particular ideology has itself the foundation with another dead ideology that we call by today's standards communism. But even for them, there is a spirituality of seeing the world for every wrong, especially the Western world, seeing that world for all of its ills and trying to rip it apart. It is a belief that this is wrong, it needs to change, and I think it is very spiritual because it's based on feeling, on belief, on faith, on a trust between one group and another within that massive coalition of people. And their spirit keeps them going. strength through unity, just like with all ideologies, they stem from a belief system. So I think that the woke, as we call them, because before that term, we were struggling to find a definition for them. That's
Well,
because
luckily, these people love defining themselves, so they made it pretty easy. Just saying. Continue.
what I've found is that these people, they're hard to define because they don't work within the rational, they don't work within the material. Although they use material ideas, they don't operate mentally from a material perspective. They operate within a spiritual one, a one of belief, one of faith, one that is an absence of religion, because none of these people are religious. I mean, just look at them.
Right.
Well, maybe
Yeah,
they are religious,
Agreed.
but of a much darker variety. Occult.
Indeed.
They're of the occult.
I'm absolutely
spiritual.
of the mind that these individuals are a cult. Hail Sean Landrigan. It's good to see you, sir. But I don't think that a lot of the true believers are in the hierarchy. They're not in the higher reaches of the people in control. But that's a different discussion altogether, which we will have one day on Dark Philosophy. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Sean E. Step. Hail, sir. So, what examples of spirituality do you think, I should rephrase that. Do you think there have been any examples of spirituality that has been damaging in public? Because there has to be a time other than, say, the Crusades, where that was far more than a spiritual journey for these people. That was an exercise in belief and commitment, and oh my God, it was some pretty hardcore shit on both sides. Don't point out the Catholics, don't point out the Muslims. They all did terrible shit. That's what we do. We're human beings. So, and plus it's in the past. We can't change it. So fuck on. Yeah, what's up? Anyway, so do you think that there's any spiritualities that might actually be dangerous?
Oh, plenty, because one thing that religion does with spirituality is anchor it. Without that organization to keep it grounded, it can drive people insane if it's not grounded properly. If it's sky high, if it only works within the abstract and doesn't take the way of the world into consideration, then if ever spirituality got access to power without being grounded by a coherent belief system, then spirituality plenty of damage. That's why cults are potentially incredibly dangerous if the person operating it isn't grounded by understanding the ways of the world. That's why you get so many of them drinking poisoned Kool-Aid, because they're utterly mad. They don't operate within they don't operate within the physical and the spiritual. They operate just within the spiritual with no understanding of the material.
Couldn't you argue that someone that's going to drink poison Kool-Aid is very spiritually lost?
I think they're so lost in the spiritual that they have lost all sense of the material world.
Yes. I think that's a good way to put it, actually.
These people are not spiritually lost, in my view. In my view, they're materially lost, physically lost. And as a result, they go into the spiritual to such an extent that they see themselves as separate from the material. So drinking that doesn't matter to them.
I would just like to answer, writing with Charlie's question real quick. Is DMT a good example of spiritual or religious? Definitely spiritual, bro.
We are not promoting drug use.
But it does, in a sense, it does warp your view of reality, which makes your mind question how real is the physical world. That's why you get the mind-body split within philosophy, because when you take things that alter your perspective, the material world somehow change it.
Trust me, bro, I know. There's my drug-related joke for the night, people. Even though I'm not really joking. Anyway, so spirituality can both be good and dangerous. But what happens if people try to replace spirituality with something man-made? Let's say science.
Hmm.
If they put all their spiritual belief into science, where do you think we're going to go? Do you think we're going to wind up in a cyberpunk kind of future, or like a Mad
Something like that, or
Max
like
kind
more
of
like a
future?
BioShock kind of thing? Like,
Bioshock, you know.
Well, the future, if you want to understand the future and relate it to those examples, BioShock would be too much freedom and also too much power within one businessman. Within Cyberpunk, it is also too much freedom, but corporate freedom, to such an extent that they become the power over that of even governments. And it's up to the people, instead of fighting the state for freedom, they now have to fight a horde of corporations. I forgot the other one. Mad Max. That is a complete absence of government and corporate power, and it's up to the people and their beliefs and their ways of living to find out who dominates, as well as an absence of resources. But can you repeat the question?
Well, hold on one sec. We've got an interesting twist here.
I can't see it. I need my glasses.
It's all good. I'll read it. Lasso of Truth says, I don't believe in too much freedom. Omega says the same.
I agree.
Well,
There's
here's the thing.
Scientists running the world.
Well, that's true, but for like a society like ours, constitutional republic, I don't know.
Well, I think in the terms of the freedoms that Ryan is talking about, he's actually referring to more of the corporations gained more freedoms and rights than the individuals in Cyberpunk. The governments gained too much power and control in other ones, and in Mad Max, there is too much freedom in the sense that there is no structure. Everyone gets to do whatever the hell they want, and that's why you get the roaming bands of like ass fucks. Yeah, bandits is probably a better word than ass fucks, but I'm going to go with ass fucks. So, Omega Star points out something good here too. I'll get to that in a second. But when it comes to too much freedom, it's more of freedom from consequence that he's referring to. From my understanding of what he said, because when there's freedom from consequence, you're free to do whatever you want. And if select people are free from consequence, then they'll do whatever they want to the rest of the people. And that's how that works. And he said, and Omega Star says it requires maturity. And it does require maturity in order to have absolute freedom. But we have seen that throughout time, and still to this day, and far, far into the future, people are going to be immature asshats, and they're going to need structure. At my core belief, I am an anarchist. I believe that there should be no governmental bodies whatsoever. But that's tempered by the fact that I wish that people were mature enough to fucking do it themselves. But they're not. No matter what happens, no matter... I know everything. No. Okay. That's why that guy on the motorcycle just lassoed your girlfriend and drug her down the street. You know, like Mad Max style kind of shit. Like, you know, that's why anarchy can't work, because there's not a mature enough spirit within the human essence for it to work. Honestly, same thing as communism being great on paper. Socialism sounds fantastic. Everybody gets a fair share. Fucking wrong. Because if you didn't realize it, the more everything gets split up, the less there is of it. And then when one person goes, "That's mine," then everybody else is fucked. Mind blowing. Anyway, hail Jacob Ironside. He says, "Hello, Corey, Ryan, and Germ.
Hello.
Wash your hands." Anyway.
In regards to science replacing spirituality, my answer to that question would be See what the world has been like since March or April of 2020. We have been governed by science for over 2 years, and in some respects we still are. When governments, especially Western governments, turned over matters of policy, especially health policy, but also other government policies, to their appointed scientists who put in place measures that curtailed personal freedoms, who basically put people's liberty on hold in return for less loss of life. So if you want to view a world where science dominates and replaces spirituality, religion, politics, basically the world is run by science, you would get the last 2 years. You wouldn't have democracy. You wouldn't have elections. Wouldn't have even consultation. Because why would a scientist consult you when you don't understand the objective method, you don't understand the intellectual capabilities in regards to this crisis or to the various health problems associated with it? Science as a form of government would be totalitarian, and it would be insane by the standards of both the Western world and capitalism, as well as by what was the Eastern world, and even by communist standards. Being ruled by science would be insane, because it's too much of science tells you what is, but it does not tell you how to live.
You see, science, first of all, before I get to the science thing, don't let me forget that's what we're talking about, the science and what you just said. Anyway, Ruben Christopher Haynes, I love you, sir. I love your passion on all of this stuff. He says, I'm an individualist. This is my universe, and I do whatever the fuck I want. I'm the authority. Max freedom plus max responsibility. I believe in the virtue of selflessness. 0 fucks given.
Yeah.
Well, 0 fucks should be given by you, sir, because that's a good way to live. Honestly, it is. I don't hold it against you if you're an individualist, but I do question you if you're a collectivist, because, you know,
It's funny how that works, huh?
Don't you want to be you? I mean, God. Okay, we were talking about science and stuff. I forgot what we were talking about.
Yeah. What would happen if science replaced spirituality, and without spirit ruling our belief systems? If science ruled our belief systems, folks,
well,
we would have a very limited, unimaginative basis to know what to do, especially in times of crisis. I mean, initiative. Scientists don't have initiative. They work within certain rules, within certain regulations. In a sense, it's been institutionalized in modern era.
Yeah, and when you apply the true scientific method to everything that exists in life, it actually becomes incredibly
monotonous,
strict. Yeah, monotonous is a good term too, but it's a very strict way of doing things, and they rely very heavily on what psychologists refer to as irrational absolutes. And if you don't know what that is, that's a should, has to, or any other thing that quantifies something as only having one acceptable outcome. And in behavior, we use these all the time. In behavioral sciences, the soft sciences, as they call them, because they're not grounded in physical reality, when my brain is running off track, I'm so tired tonight. Not that Ryan could understand that, you know. But, you know.
What time is it?
Oh, for you? That's like 2.
Oh, it's 3
almost
o'clock.
3 o'clock in the morning. Wow, we've only got 30 more minutes. Thank you. You see what happened?
Nighty night. See you all later.
Dude, I turned into a pickle after 11. I'm all like, I can't do it anymore.
Dude, you know how many times this guy's fallen asleep on me after 11 o'clock when we're trying to play a video game together? It's like I'm like trying to talk to him over the headset.
Yeah, and usually I got food in my mouth when I pass out.
I didn't know that.
I'm just saying, like, I'll be eating something, watching TV, and I'm all like, God, oh my God. Oh. And then like I have to put my snacks away and be like, I should go to bed. And then I like watch another like 10 minutes of whatever the thing I was watching is. You know? That's how I got through the Star Trek, the original movie, the motion picture recently, because I fell asleep originally after the first half. I was like, and then when I went back and watched it, I watched the second half and I was like, that was fucking amazing.
It is a groundbreaking movie, but it's also very, very.
They stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah.
But anyway, so do you think that this is a huge what if question, but what would an ideal spiritual world be like in your opinion? And I know that's a very controversial question. If you don't feel comfortable answering it, that's fine.
Oh no, I've been trying to answer the ideal way of life question for 15 years, and I've gone from pillar to post. But at its purest, ladies and gentlemen, the best of what was, combined with the best of what is, basically the best of the present and the best of the past, put together could form what I call the ideal way of life, something I spent 15 years trying to write up and didn't work. But yes, there are plenty of things we can learn from the past that we have forgotten in the present. But throughout history, including today, there is struggle. Humanity thrives on struggle. We need an enemy to unite us, to face, to prevail against, because it adds to our belief in our faith in ourselves. That's why we have movies in which we defeat aliens against all odds, when conventional wisdom and intelligence would say you don't stand a cat's chance,
A
or
snowball's
whatever
chance in
the saying
hell.
is. Yes, that. You have no chance. That's the faith. That's the spirit. That's the hope. That's something that the material cannot understand and will never understand, because the human is divided into three: mind, body, and it used to be called soul, but now it would be called spirit. Because when you die, you live on in the records of the people and in the minds of the people. That is your spirit. That is your soul. And the greater the legacy you create, the longer your soul and spirit will live on. Now, you could also do that with monuments. Those monuments are part of your legacy, your soul, your spirit, whether it's your gravestone or you're so revered by your nation, they have a statue of you in every city.
It
To be torn down later. It has to be removable, though, in case they want to tear it down. I mean, just saying. Hail the Basco scenario. I'm glad you could make it.
But I think if we fulfill the best of the past, what got us to a peaceful and prosperous era in the mid to late 20th century, for example, from 1950 until 1999, combined with the best of the present, which is mostly the technology and the innovations, bind those two things together, not just in the West, but across the entire world, the population would go through the roof. We would have peace and prosperity, the likes of which we have never seen before. And in my view, by the end of the century, we will have conquered the entire solar system. Man on Mars, man on the asteroid belt, man on T.A.L. Let's be ambitious. First man on Pluto.
That's not a planet.
You shut your whore mouth.
Did it?
My goodness.
Did it get reclassified as a planet? I can't remember.
I have no idea.
I think Neil deGrasse was all like, "Oh shit, people are mad at me for saying this chunk of ice isn't a planet." Damn. But you know,
I think it is a planet.
I agree. I mean,
Does
it's
it have
been a planet for as long as I can
pole?
remember.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't know what they use to classify planets anymore. It's probably the same people classifying genders at this point. So let's just,
All 150 of them now.
Oh, he's gone. He abandoned us.
Womp womp.
He didn't like my comment about the gender thing. I'm sure that's what it was.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely sure.
I feel like I ran out of things to talk about with
What?
Hey, we came
throw
back.
you off a little bit?
Yeah.
Leave deliberately. All I did was touch my controller, and it just left. Stupid bastard thing.
I've had that problem before, but it's because of how I had my studio set up. Like if I moved my chair wrong, it would unplug everything. I'm like, oh shit, I need to fix that, and I kind of did.
I kind of assume you mean you put some tape over it.
No, I moved the chair over.
My Kinect has voice control, and while I was practicing on StreamYard, talking to myself and looking at Twitter with my shared screen, I just talked about the console, who I won't name because this thing will pick it up and then take me somewhere, God knows where, home or somewhere else. And it just went off, and I'm like, what the hell are you doing? You barely listen to me half the time. You listen to me when I don't ask for you, you bastard thing, you paperweight, 22-pound wasting trash. Yes.
Yeah. Yes. And Lasso of Truth, of course, says, I love how Brits say bastard. Bastard.
Well, that's just me. I'm cultured.
You have one of the most amazing voices I've heard out of a British mouth in a long time.
Oh, thank you.
I only copy like the accents and stuff that I actually like and then inspire me. This includes the Indian one that a lot of people seem to not give a shit about. What happened with the blue? Anyway.
Gupta, Aliupta.
He's British.
Corey,
he's allowed to say things
how
like
you doing tonight? Everything fine in Cedar Rapids or Denver? How's it like in Colorado Springs?
Hot as hell.
Well, I'll tell you, partner, it's not exactly enjoyable.
Right.
Yeehaw!
No, it was a nice, like, balmy 102 on my deck today. So
yeah.
like, oh, yeah, that's fun. Anyway, so spirituality this, spirituality that.
Dude, they cut our power in the middle of that. They were moving a transformer box out back, and it cut our whole power for like, I don't know, 45 minutes.
Wow, that's weird.
It got so hot in here, dude.
Should buy a fan.
How can you use a fan when there's no electricity?
See, my fan, right? It's so broken that when I switch the power on, it barely moves. So in order to start it up, I need to go, and after a few times, I move it down and it starts spinning, and I go, yay! Just like with my old television, it took a few times to switch on, but then when I whack it on the side, it then comes on with a big spark. Or like with my microwave, after the first minute, it goes.
That's probably not good.
But as soon as I put the lasagna in, or the cottage pie, I close the door, put it on, and then as soon as it's on, I get out of the room and shut the door. So if it blows up, it doesn't destroy the rest of the house.
All right.
Lasso
of Truth says Corey can't do a Boston accent though, and I can't spell.
No, you cannot.
You're right about both. I can't do a Beantown accent. It always turns into some kind of New York accent, and I'm fine with being the New York accent kind of guy. I'm like, hey, I could pretend like I'm from the shittiest place in the fucking world, but
go back to Hollywood.
I'm just saying New York is trash. So is California. Most parts anyway. The big parts. I'm sure upstate New York's nice, near Canada, before you get to the race.
Dude, it's like that in our state, too.
New York State is 9 out of 10. New York City is 1 out of 10. The rest of the state is 10 out of 10. That's why New York as a state is 9 out of 10.
Well,
secede from your state and create New York State, and then the city-state of New York City. Same for Illinois. Just be the state of Illinois and the city-state of Chicago.
Or
Chicago.
we could wall each of these giant places off and have some real life escape from New York shit, and escape from LA, and escape from Chicago, and escape from Detroit. I mean, people are trying already, and it's not going well. But I mean, you put walls up, I mean, they'll give them incentive. They'll be like, I got to get my upper body strength up to climb that bitch. You know, like, yeah, they'll feel good. But you only use non-lethals to keep them in line, like, you know, tranquilizers and stuff like that.
Tear gas.
No, it's got to make sure it punctures at least somehow.
We are not condoning tranquilizing your neighbor. Do not tranquilize your neighbor.
No, only escaping convicts.
Using tear gas in war is a war crime, but using it against protesters is perfectly fine. That's actually true.
That's understandable. I mean, who do you really need to keep in line? People you're fighting against in a war, or the protesters? Who does more damage at this point?
The protesters, especially when they're peaceful.
Yes, mostly fiery, mostly peaceful. So, I feel like we've completely derailed from the spirituality topic, ladies and gentlemen. So
I gave the answer. I think it's satisfactory. The best of the past with the best of the present shall make a wonderful future.
You've been a wonderful audience. Good night.
No, not even. We've just entered. I'm just going to go ahead and start the viewers vote phase. As soon as I get to, there we go.
Maybe I should vote too.
You totally should. Everyone should vote.
All right, I'll open a new tab.
And if you're an American, you need to vote.
If you live in a city in America, you don't need to vote. If no one in American cities voted, I think the United States would be a much more peaceful and prosperous.
Well, it would also be a lot better if people, you know, had to be alive to be allowed to vote. But what do I know? Hey.
Just turn this light off.
It's understandable. Totally understandable. All right, let's see. What was that last one? Oh, yeah. I think I'm recycling another one, but it's a good topic. So here comes your dark topic, ladies and gentlemen. Yep, there it is. It's awesome. Your dark topics for next week to vote on are rejection, hate and indifference, and violence. We'll let that stew for a little bit and get back to our guest. So, do you think a population without spirituality is easier to control?
Oh, definitely.
Do you think that's why they're getting rid of it?
Yes. Yes, you get rid of belief, you get rid of religion. The communists understood this. You outlaw
so did the
religion. Nazis. You outlaw religion, although the National Socialists never outright banned religion. Instead, they took control of it.
Mm-hmm.
The communists did outright ban it, especially in public.
Oh, yeah.
And they tried to replace the system with one of state religion, which is where the term atheism comes from. It comes from the Soviets and it comes from the communists, the old Bolsheviks. And it meant
I did not know that.
An absence of religion in favor of the people worshipping one another and each other's efforts. But who controlled the people? The state.
Yeah, that comes along with something that Ruben Christopher Haynes said earlier, in the fact that it's all about them screaming for the greater good.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't hide behind that, socialists, because if it was for the greater good, you wouldn't be harming so many people. Last time I checked, it wasn't very good to starve people to death. You know,
quit using logic, dude.
No. It's my superpower. I'm like Deadpool, remember? My superpower is common sense.
Yes. And getting captured by the government and getting turned into some disgusting looking creature that has to fight Wolverine.
I don't have cancer, so that's a bonus. So Yeah, let's check on the poll, shall we? 50% on hate and indifference, 25% on rejection, and 25% on violence. Ooh, 33% on violence. Somebody voted. If only we had a registration to know who these people are. No, wait,
Come
that's a
on,
bad
people.
idea.
Let hate win for once in the 21st century.
That hate and indifference conversation will be interesting. I don't like
yeah.
divulging a lot, but it's I've already got some stuff written for that intro. I'm probably going to edit like 50 million times before I finalize, but it's going to be good.
Edit?
Violence is
I never
also
edit.
violence is also going to be a good topic, by the way, people. It's not what you might think. And no, Mama Susan, it's not a call to violence. It's a philosophical discussion regarding violence. Is your algorithm programmed for that? I didn't think so.
You said its name, now it's going to be here.
Indeed. And of course, Lasso of Truth is trying to influence voters by
She's trying to
just coming out
fortify.
and saying, yeah, she's fortifying the results here, ladies and gentlemen. Are you going to take this from the president of my fan club? Are you going to take
Your
this?
president is a woman?
Hell yeah. I got no problem.
My goodness.
Hey,
Next
I
thing
have
you'll
some-
tell me is that you're flying the progressive flag outside of your house in Colorado Springs.
Nah, I got this for that. Here we go. Yeah, let's check that out. Douche. Yeah. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these. I put these up on my Yelling at Parked Cars stuff. If you notice, they've got the pride flag, their own unique QR codes, Ukraine thing. And yeah, these sheep are the best. They're like real.
Hello.
I just removed, man, damn, what is that?
It's like suddenly I'm the only one in here.
Welcome to the Boomer Hour. From a guy who's
Boomer is not
really
an
that-
age, it's a state of mind.
It is
Just
indeed.
like
Let's-
Millennial and Gen Z and Gen X and the greatest generation. It is a state of mind, folks. Embrace the ideas of the greatest generation, and for God's sake, do not embrace the traditions of late millennials.
Well said. Late millennials.
Yeah, you
suck.
can't argue with that.
I don't know what your
Thankfully-
late millennials are. But
Thankfully, I was born in 1999, which makes me
a punk
Gen
ass
Z.
kid. Ha.
Punk ass kid.
Millennials, for some reason, there's a 15-year gap for millennials from 1981 to 1996. So late millennials would probably be from 1990 to 1996. They were the ones who were really educated by brainwashed communists who were taught by commies from the Soviet Union who fled communism.
Oh yeah, quote unquote fled. I love.
Yeah, just like people flee California to come to Colorado and spread their bullshit. Thanks, guys.
Operation.
I'm ending this
Paperclip.
poll, by the way. The results came out to a, just post them already, massive victory for hate and indifference with 44% of the vote. Violence came in second with 33 and rejection at 22.
I hate
Total
you when I'm
votes?
indifferent to your feelings.
Hey.
Hate wins at last. This is the greatest moment since 2016. What a great year.
Oh my god.
It's a stupid topic, but I didn't have another one to put in yet. So I'm just going to put it there, and I'm going to see it get 0 votes. That's what's going to happen there. This one's going to get all the votes. I fucking tell you what. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your great topics are assumptions, self-care, and everyone's favorite, sex.
If you vote for
Hey.
sex, then you are a degenerate.
And I love you very much because that's a great topic. Everybody loves talking about sex, and nobody's talked about sex with me. I never had to talk. That's not a lie. I learned about sex from the internet. Like a big boy.
This vote is rigged. I voted for assumptions, and it says I voted for sex.
I'm a dirty
Good.
boy.
Assumptions. Stop rigging the vote, Corey.
50-50 on assumptions and sex.
Talk about spirituality on this show.
Maybe we
not
can talk
sex.
about sexual assumptions. No,
Did
that's
you
the
just
wrong
assume my
hole.
gender?
No. Shooting in the dark and him winding up in the wrong hole. That's what it is.
Oh, I swear I didn't know.
I'm sorry. I assumed you'd be okay with it.
Vote for purity. Vote for assumptions. I do that a lot.
Assumptions will be a somewhat psychological discussion because I'll be talking about the state of mind of people who make assumptions a lot. I suppose I should have said that before. Probably would have killed the topic, but that's fine.
Stereotypes are stereotypes because they use stereos while typing.
Oh.
That was
Oh,
supposed
really?
to be a joke. Please laugh.
Aha. Aha.
Good.
I don't have a soundboard.
That's a
for
real
laugh
knee
track.
slapper.
Hey, you know it. Hey, check that out. It's 8 votes already, and it's been 1 minute.
See, there you go. Faith restored. We're not a bunch of degenerates in here. Only some of us are.
Good.
I am absolutely disappointed in you people.
No
Did
one
you see
voted for
Lasso's
self-care.
comment?
Like
No-
Jeb
no
Bush,
one-
please clap.
Yeah. Please laugh.
Necesitas reír. What you got going on, Ryan? You're taking some time off, huh?
Tomorrow I will not be making any videos. I was going to stream a game a few hours ago, but this damn Connect doesn't work on Twitch. That's
Which
why
game
I
were you going to
bought it.
stream?
Oh, Fall Guys.
Ah, okay.
I really do like that game, and it's been recently released on the Xbox. I've really enjoyed it. So, yeah, streaming has been delayed for at least a month because it requires financial resources that I spent
Right.
on this beloved white elephant that can only stream on StreamYard. Thank you. But I do look better, although you can see my looser beard. One advantage of having a not so good quality camera, you actually think my beard is fully grown. That's why I cosplay as Culture Casino. I used to have a fringe like his, but unlike him,
Do you have a weave like his?
he has a weave.
Culture's hair is real, and he didn't pay me to say that.
Well, if it isn't real,
Yeah,
can I have his
right.
wig?
Of course he didn't.
You really want his merkin?
Yes, because I had hair just like that when I was 12, and over the
Wow.
past 11 years, my hairline has gone from here to here. Used to be like Steven Seagal's currently. Used to go like that, and it would grow, and it would be like a lion's mane. Now it's all gone because of years of stress. That's the one thing about having a boss, folks. They can handle all your stresses. I had a song about I wrote a song, and Culture Casino has a line in that song. How do you deal with Culture Casino? Tell his boss to take his balls to Reno.
I like
I
that.
gotta come up I have to come up one for you, Sir Talks a Lot.
How do you deal with Sir Talks a Lot?
You tell the folks
Make it-
he's a Russian bot.
Hey, man, we're not supposed to talk about these things, okay? I mean, honestly, you're really not. I'm trying to find out how to invite these people. To my.
Shouldn't be doing the next poll topic.
I'm working on it. And
Let's
since
see if
you're
I
all
get
here,
it.
join my gilded.
Celebrate.
Anyway, so yeah, we can go ahead and close this one out. It's been 5
Is that a
minutes.
D&D
so
guild or what?
assumptions work. No, gilded, our Lord and Savior, as Culture Casino calls it. It's a perfect and wonderful replacement for Discord. Anyone who's on Discord should abandon that spy-ridden bullshit and go on over to
Yes.
Gilded. All of your favorite YouTubers are on there, and some of your least favorite ones are probably there too, but you don't have to join them because they won't invite you. So I'm going to start the next poll for the white topics.
Discard Discord today. Go to
For a better
Gilded.
lifestyle tomorrow.
But yes, I just released mine in celebration of having 500 subscribers now. And of
Nice,
course,
congrats.
since I broke that, I will be doing a celebration live stream, but it might take a minute because I have to work out schedules and all this other shit. But I plan on having Comics Division and the usual boys on there. My hair's fucking pissing me off right now.
I'm
Very
available anytime. I mean, it's
Oh, if
nearly
you're-
3:30.
You are
Right.
more than welcome to come to any of that. I don't know when or what time or who or why, but
You know
Anyway.
the why.
I do know the why. It's because apparently I'm pretty good at what I do. And if you haven't realized what I do yet, then go ahead and watch Mental Dysentery episode 40-ish and have a laugh. The channel surfing thing is actually plays pretty well with the crowds. The light conversation topics for next week could be crazy versus eccentric, bravery, or dreams. And when I'm going to put this out there right now before everyone starts voting, that the dreams portion is in fact nothing to do with your hopes and aspirations, but actual dreams themselves and whether or not they fucking mean anything. It'll be a good discussion. But obviously people want to know the difference between crazy versus eccentric, which we all know the answer to, but we have some creative twists on it too. And bravery.
There is no difference because I am both.
Dreams. Taking the lead.
No. Dreams has already won. Vote for crazy versus eccentric. Can't change your votes anyway.
And of course, ladies and gentlemen, if your topic of choice does not win tonight, I will be recycling them in the future once I've fully run out of other topics. Or beforehand, if I feel like it. So, because you guys know me, I'm pretty impulsive. So, I won't deny that. I'm not ashamed of it. I'm an impulsive bastard.
Like that.
And I've
time
spent
at band camp.
No, you said you didn't talk about that. I hate you. So upset right now. Hi, Mrs. Blue. Good to see you. Tell the mister I said fuck you. I'm kidding, of course. I want you to whip him like he likes.
Oh no. 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 Decadent. It's very decadent.
Oh, that's great. Hate and indifference and self-care so far. Looks like we might round it out with some competition.
Self-care. Don't you mean assumption?
Yeah, I deleted the wrong stuff. Thank you for correcting me. I did that again. I did that last week and I was like, fuck. What did they choose? It's assumption. See that? I'm sabotaging myself.
Stephen, vote for
Screenshot,
crazy
man.
versus eccentric.
Hail again, Stephen Ransom. It's wonderful to see you. Thank you all for showing up. I know I am your favorite clout chaser. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And
You suck
Oh yeah,
grifter.
Mahmoud
And-
didn't like you.
yeah, it hurt deep inside. I assure you. So, Ryan, what do you have going on in the near future that people can look forward to? Are you going to be on any live streams? You said you're not making any videos tomorrow, but
No,
Got
I
anything?
have to check. Oh, I will be speaking with Troy Pacelli on Friday night his time, Saturday morning my time. He lives in Chicago, God bless him. So let me just check my schedule list. Yes, Troy Pacelli, 3 a.m. Saturday, my time. His time is Friday night, 10, I don't know, 9, 10 o'clock. Apart from that, nothing on the list. I may have to double check. But yeah, Friday night, American time, Troy Pacelli.
Very
Great
cool.
guy.
That's awesome. So,
Almost
real quick,
there.
Stephen Ransom says, Sir Talks a Lot, don't be too hard on your fans. I'd never be hard on my fans. I love the fact that you guys are willing to step out there and defend me and, slap a bitch down if necessary. It makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. I just, as I said on Twitter before, I'd rather let fools be fools, but far away from me. And luckily, I exercise all the blocks, all the mutes, and all the other stuff because I don't care about monetizing hate because guess what? Not monetized. Don't give a shit. I'm not going to have one of these people sign up for my Patreon, which I just launched and could share a link to, but I forgot to get it. So,
I'm amazed, Corey, that you get the funds that you get.
dude, my fans are amazing. They want to see this awesome material come out because they're excited about new content, new comedy, new engaging stories, things like that. And yes, new Frank Lees, which I promise are on the way. I say that all the time, but I'm on the way. He's on the way.
Yeah, where's
Okay?
my Frank Lee, bitch?
He needs a full beard, okay? He needs a full beard.
Mm.
And it's almost there, okay?
Another
Almost.
week.
Yeah, pretty much. Another week, and then I'll be able to do Frank Lee, and I'll make him look like he's been in the Texas heat hunting down aliens crossing the southern border. It'll be great. And of course, if you know,
so awesome.
if you know Frank Lee, then you know why that's funny. If you find that offensive, go fucking watch Frank Lee, and you'll get it. The Chupacabra episode is a perfect example. So is
all of them.
the Gobble Squatch, and Bounding into Buckwa, and Frank Lee versus the Loch Ness Monster. You are dramatizing everything, Lasso. Frank Lee has not abandoned you. He had a dermatological issue he had to deal with by shaving his beard off for several months. So he's coming back very soon. I know it feels like a lie at this point, but it's not. Hey, check that out. We're just going to go ahead and end this poll. Real close on that poll, but Dreams won out at 38%. Followed by Crazy versus Eccentric and Bravery, both at 30.
That doesn't add up to 100.
No, it sure as fuck doesn't. Let's see here. Bravery, 30 and 30 and 30 makes 90 plus 8 makes 98. Who the fuck were there?
Who manipulated the vote to stop Crazy versus
Lasso.
Eccentric from winning?
Lasso, how did you do that? I know that was you. You had to do that. She's tampers with polls. She's actually like CEO of
Stop
Dominion.
blaming women. It's your fault for rigging the vote.
I am now of the firm belief that she works for the Illuminati and she's the CEO of Dominion. She's telling me to shush now, but I'm not going to shush. I'm spilling the beans, Trina.
The truth is out there, man.
She might be a lizard person, but I doubt it because she likes werewolves a lot.
Come down from Jupiter.
Oh, yeah, and there's a werewolf episode of Frank Lee as well. He goes to London. He technically commits a couple international crimes, but I still haven't made a fucking outro for this show. We're going to go now, people. You can catch me on
that's the outro right there.
Thursday Night Throwdown.
See ya.
Tomorrow on Comics Division's channel, the usual place. Make sure you share this with your friends. Tell them to subscribe because as we grow, I become much more nervous, and everybody loves to see me nervous. So
it is quite entertaining.
Oh yeah, and did I mention I'm the world's worst shill? Yeah. Just
That's not a
saying.
bad thing. That's not.
And
a
Lasso
bad
brings
thing.
up the fact that she didn't even know the difference between a monitor lizard and alligators. And if you want to know what she's talking about, go watch Mental Dysentery, episode 40-ish. But
That's
anyway,
an awesome
ladies and
title, by the
gentlemen,
way.
it is. Well, depending on how you count it, it's technically the 40th episode. I won't clue you in on how I counted my videos, but what did I do with that? Oh yeah, I'm going to do this one. Stay sexy, everyone, and don't get murdered.
Friends, I have killed one of God's most innocent and intelligent creatures.